Hello here and welcome to Making Models. Okay folks, so as you can see on the bench we have the instructions for Andy's Hobby Headquarters Sherman tank. Now this is not going to be a build series. We are going to be building this as and when we get a chance to build it. It's going to be in no particular order, no particular release date. It's going to be one of those project builds that I take my time over and I build it when I want to. So I will record it all when I do it, and obviously share it up on YouTube. But we are going to be starting this build with my favourite part of any armour build, and that is going to be the tracks. Now, this thing is huge. I've never built this scale before. There is the bag with the tracks in, and there are 6 sprues. It's saying here the track instructions there are 77 for each track, 6 sprues. So I'm going to hazard a guess that it's 3 sprues for each side, but I'm going to get this bag open and we'll take a good look at one of the sprues. So back in a moment. Okay folks, so there we have it. One of the sprues. They are the B sprues. Like I say, there are 6 of them. There are 3 parts to this track. We have the upper part and the lower part of the track itself, which are there. And we have these little guide horns as well. Now, I do believe these are not difficult to build. There are just a lot of them. So I think the first part is we have 3 pots here. And we are going to get everything off the sprue, get everything cleaned up, and take a look. This gives me a chance to test a new piece of kit I've got, and I will probably put this up as a separate review. We have gone and bought ourselves one of the display sanders. So we will take that and have a look. Not played with this yet. I have literally taken it out of the box. So yeah, we will see how this is to use, and we'll put a separate video up reviewing this to see if it's any good. So I can get everything cut off the sprue first, and we'll take a look at the individual pieces before we do any sort of cleanup and anything like that. So talk to you in a moment. Okay folks, so as you can see we had to find some bigger pots. That is the first sprue, well the first 3 sprues all cut off. Now it's saying there's 77 per side, so we've counted out 77 of each piece, and we have 6 spares of each type, so we will have some spare track. We're just going to do some test fitting now, so I'm going to zoom you in a little bit. I'll show you where we have cut off. So there's been cuts there, and a 1 on the other side in the middle there. So that part needs to be cleaned up. On these, it's all on the inside, but it's still going to need to be cleaned up because it's raised slightly at the 3 points. So there's there, and in the middle of the 2 pieces there. And of course on this part we're going to have to clean up the bottom and the top of that. So there's a little bit of cleanup, but we are going to be doing some test fitting. So we've got 1, 2, we'll just test fit 3 pieces together for now. So I do believe these are quite literally, you have a piece like so, you have all your bottom pieces, which are the bits with the track, and then these just a drop into there like so, and you just build them along like that. And of course these go on top. You only need to glue along that center bar, get that in the middle, along that center bar at the top, that raised section, which is that center section right down there. Just a bit of glue on there, and then when you put this top piece on over the top, it glues it and sticks it in place. Your track should still Bear with me one moment while I get this in the right place. I think. Am I putting that the right way around? Probably not. No, I wasn't. So that goes on top of there. That'll glue down. And then on top of there. And lastly, that one go on the top of there. And we would have, if I squeeze all that together, yeah, it should still work and articulate once it's glued in place. So I can imagine you're going to be coming along, you're going to be doing one, and then you're going to be leaving that first one and gluing down on that one. Or would you? If I glued that into place there, obviously, I see. So yeah, you would probably work the other way around, to be fair. And you would leave, come on, stop bouncing around. You would leave that one blank, ready for when you connect it to the other side, I would have thought, and you'd work your way along, one on. So you glue that piece, you would then get the next piece, tuck it underneath, glue down this piece, get the next piece, tuck it underneath, glue on the top, and you work your way along for the whole track. And I suppose you really wouldn't glue that last one down until you know if you've got enough pieces and they fit correctly. So yeah, perfect. So we know how we're going to dry fit them now. Now we've had a play around with them. It's always worthwhile playing around with a dry fit. So all I've got left to do now is to clean up these 77, these 77, and these 77, and hopefully our little sander is going to save us some time. So, not sure which video will come out first, but it'll be the video for the review of this, or the tank tracks. So, either or either, watch out for a review of Dispay's little sander, which is a lovely little tool. So, I will talk to you all shortly. Okay, folks, we are all sanded down, and this thing did really, really well. It took a little bit longer, but one thing this forces you to be is a little bit more patient, a little bit more accurate when you're sanding those finer details out. So, yes, I would highly recommend. Okay, so all sanded down, ready to be put together. So we are going to start off with a few pieces of the outside of the track, and 3 of those and a couple of these. There's a reason for that. So I'm going to move these out of the way. We'll get these a little bit more central. We're going to zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little better. 50-50 chance, always goes the wrong way. And we are going to hook these 3 pieces together. So they are just going to hook together like so. And they're going to sit like that. Now, We don't want to glue onto this first piece. This piece here, we're going to want to glue to that piece and then onto that piece, because obviously we are going to need to build these all together. It's going to have to loop around, and that last piece will go on to seal it to the last piece as we build it around. So the only part we want to glue onto is this central strip down the center here. So we're just going to get some glue, soak that part, take that off. And of course that is then just going to drop onto there, and that of course grips this bar section here underneath there. So as we glue down the second piece as well, like so. And we will push that piece on as well. Obviously we don't need to have this piece in, because we can now just loop that. Bit of glue on there like so. And the next piece just pushes down. We'll give that a few moments to dry. And there we have it. Quite simple, goes together quite easy. We'll leave that to dry for 10 minutes, and we shall take a look. I might glue a few more together while we've got it on cam, while I'm off camera, and leave it to dry. I'll show you in a moment. Okay folks, so as you can see we have several pieces now all together and rock solid. I'm just going to show you, obviously we left this end piece free, so when we do come to connect, that is obviously going to pop into there, and we'll get our other piece onto that and it make a solid piece of track. Obviously it's going to be much longer than that. We still have quite a way to go. This is just one side. We still to break the other side down, and of course we have the guide horns here as well, which go in like so. We've got to put those in all the way across. We will not put those in until this is all together. What I'll probably do is build this up in a few sections, and then we'll get it all together. And once this is all built, we will come back and I'll show you putting some of the guide horns in, and then we'll get that finished as well. So talk to you shortly. Okay folks, so the track, as you can see, is now all together, apart from that very last link, which we'll do once we actually get to a building tank. Got together really well, just a bit long and drawn out, putting these each and every individual link together. So what we are doing now is we are going to get all these guide horns in. Nothing difficult about it. We are literally taking the guide horn, a little bit of glue into that space there, and a little bit around the edge, a little bit on the guide horn, and then we are literally just putting it in place, giving it a bit of a push, because there is a little bit of a gap there. If you'll be able to see that, we pushed it down now and squeezed that plastic out to try and get rid of that gap. And that is it in place. We will run over the tops and everything with the sandpaper again once we get all these in. So just to show you one more time, and then we will close the camera down and we'll get on with it and get it done. You don't need to see me put all 77 of these guide horns in. Again, on, push it in place. It'll only go in one way. Squeeze it down to squeeze that plastic out. And that is it in place. So I am going to crack on, get all of these in, all 77. There are spares in here, so we've got quite a few spares left in there. So we may very well build some of these up to decorate the tank with once it gets built. So I shall talk to you very, very shortly. We'll get this done and I'll be back in a moment. Okay folks, so there we go. That is the guide horns in and the track completed. All we are going to need to do once we have built it and painted it and we want it onto the track is to connect that last single link right there. So that is the tracks, because we have done the other one as well. So they are both complete and done. A little long-winded, but that is the usual case for a link-in-link track. They do take quite a bit of time to do, but as you can see, the results really are worthwhile. They are just as good as buying, metal tracks or anything like that. So yeah, well chuffed. Massive tracks, biggest I've ever built. Obviously it's 1/16, so this is our first 1/16 tank. Like I say, these tracks are absolutely huge. So I'm going to call the video here and wrap it up. Really enjoyed doing that. Tracks are one of my favourite things. Tracks and wheels, it's just one of those things where you can switch your brain off, listen to a podcast, or listen to an audiobook, or watch something on YouTube while you're doing it and just relax. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. Be good, be safe, and as always, keep making models, and we'll catch you next time. Ta-ta.